Okay, so the next thing on the list is insert image. And most of this is going to be easier because we're already using a prepared statement to execute this. So all that part is going to be the same. But this time I'm actually going to need to return an insert ID. So the previous way we were doing it, anytime you did an insert statement, it automatically updates the insert ID property of the connection object. But if you run this as a stored procedure or a stored function, that happens inside of a box, and the only way to get access to that is to have the stored procedure or function pass it back out. If it's a stored procedure, you can execute a select statement and then grab the results the same way as we've been doing. So that's how you get the results from a select statement. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it a function, a stored function, because I'm going to want to use this inside of the code for insert image set. So this is all going to end up just being one call instead of calling insert image 3 times. So stored function. Yeah, so I want to have a stored function that's going to return the last insert ID of this thing. So let's go ahead and copy this. And on the routines tab, I'm going to add a routine. And this is going to be insert image. It's going to be a function because it's going to return a value. Let me paste the code in and start editing it. So the actual columns and images, open link in new tab, and go to the structure tab here. So I have MIME type, size, width, height, and data. So this is the images table, and MIME type, size, width, height, and data. And then the 5 values that match that are going to be parameters that get passed in. So I'll call that type, size, width, height, and data. So I need 5 of those. And the type is varchar 256. So type, size, width, height, data, varchar 256. Size, width, and height are all ints, and they're the default width, which is 11, so I should be able to just leave this alone. And then data is a long blob. So those are my input parameters. And then my return parameters, return values, return type is an integer because it's going to be an ID, default length, and then I don't need any of these return options. Okay, so this is going to do the insert, but it's not actually going to return the ID of the inserted thing. So this is going to require 2 statements, so I have to create a block with begin, end. And then after I've done the insert, the way you get the insert ID from the last thing is a function called lastInsertID. So this returns the ID of the last insert, and that wants to be the return value from the stored function. Okay, so this function, when executed, will do the insert, return the ID. It's not deterministic. Standard security context. It modifies SQL data. Insert an image into the images table and return its ID. All right, so now I have a stored function, insert image, I can get rid of all of this. The query string is going to be a little different because this is a stored function instead of a stored procedure. So here's what that looks like. I'm going to select the value of the stored procedure. And this is going to take 5 parameters. And it's going to return one row with one column, which is going to be the insert ID. So I connect, I prepare the query, I bind the same 5 params as before, I ship the binary data over, I do the execute. And then the way I get the result back from here is result is statement pointer get result, and then return result pointer fetch array MySQL, and I'm only getting one value back, so I'm just going to use numeric here. So this is actually going to return an array, results array, and then what I really want to return here is RA sub 0, which is the one column in this result set. So let's actually put a breakpoint here and see if it works. So I'm going to grab an image and drop it on here and say OK, and I should hit my breakpoint. Good. So let's go ahead and step through this. So there's my query, finding the parameters, executing the query. So result is a MySQLi result. RA is an array with one value. So RA sub 0, 166 should be the last insert ID. So that should be the original image. And then this one should be the page-sized image, width and height. And then this one should be the thumbnail image, 128 by 128. And then it returned all 3 IDs, so it should have created the image set. So uploaded one file. Let's go ahead and check it. I'm going to go ahead and look at the image set table. Oh, I want to turn off debugging here and continue. So here's the image sets table. And the most recently added one was 44. So let's take a look. I'm going to go localhost, share, and then thumb image 44. So that should be my cat picture, thumbnail. And then we'll do full image. Oh, it was a ridge image, right? So that's the big one. And then page image, which is 800 wide. Good, so that seems to be working.